Hello, Shazmi.
Hi, my
You look
colleague.
gorgeous
Thank you.
and
So do
bright.
you.
I think it's a thing now.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like I'm
like
just going to show up Thursday morning looking at the sun.
rise, sunrise.
Sunrise. Yes. You've been well?
I've been good. Good week. You?
Yeah, great week. Great Thursday.
Yeah, you went through it so
Yeah,
fast. Yeah.
it's like, how was it? We're talking about 5 stages in a relationship. I don't think there are five. I think like there's so many. You get stuck, then you go back to the other one. Then the relationship is over. You don't know where to end it. At what point do I get married?
That's because you get stuck in one stage.
Oh,
Yes.
wow, guys, and that's how you start a show. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so this is a topic I'm so passionate about because I've realized when people can sort of understand where they are in the relationship, why they are where they are, and how to be able to get out of it, it starts to just sort of add an ease to the relationship. It helps a lot of couples realize it's not just us, we're not alone, we're not that awkward couple, something's not wrong with me, something's not wrong with us as a couple.
Okay.
So 5 relationship stages, if I just like go through them, the first one obviously is the honeymoon stage,
Okay.
which a lot of people love, spend a lot of time with. Research shows it can last about a good 2 years, for some people a little shorter. And then you move into the power struggle stage.
Okay.
And then from the power struggle stage, you move into stability stage. From the stability stage, you move into the let's commit stage. From let's commit, you move into blissful. Now,
Blissful comes at the end.
blissful comes at the end because it takes all those
those.
stages of
Okay,
work to ever
okay.
be able to get there. And I feel that's the most mature love. Blissful is when you've hit mature love and, you know, we're ready to not exactly what your quote said. It's not you and me against each other. It's
Yeah.
you and me against the situation or whatever it is we have to tackle. So if we start with,
Please, let's just. I'm like, I know exactly where I get stuck at.
yes, and
And-
you are not the only one.
Okay.
I would say a good 95% of relationships are in the power struggle stage, but they don't realize. So you begin with the honeymoon stage.
Yes.
So this is the incredible, beautiful stage. I've met you, you trigger me, you're the most compatible person in my life. Where have you been my whole life? I can't believe I did kiss, you know, the female and male frogs to be able to get to you. You're my knight in shining armor, all of that. You even come with a horse. Nobody else can see it except me.
No.
So it is the pure honeymoon phase. Your body is filled with dopamine, you are filled with oxytocin, you are literally on what we call a love drug. And now, when that love drug starts to wane,
Wait. I just want to be there for a while. And you said approximately this takes about 2 years.
2 years, a good 2 years for you as a couple to be able to understand, like, you know, I'm in love with you, you do no wrong. Anything you do wrong, I can justify in my drug-induced mind that it is perfect, it's meant for me.
Is it okay to say that we're not in our right minds?
You are completely drug induced.
Yes.
It's the same part of the brain that lights up when you have sugar.
Okay.
The same part of the brain that lights up when you have sugar is the same part of the brain that lights up if you're on cocaine
We're
or
high
heroin.
for 2
You
years.
are high. And for some couples now, when you're in this beautiful honeymoon stage, a lot of couples make the decision to go into marriage or finalize the relationship in this stage. And that means we are so loved. Nothing can come between us. Anyone that wants to come between us is wrong. And we will choose to get married. We choose to be together for the rest of our lives. We choose to have the child before marriage. You're not foreseeing the long-term part of a relationship. You haven't experienced what this relationship really is all about.
Okay.
Because honeymoon equals drugged equals you're perfect, equals you do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And
And I can't
that's-
stop talking about you.
I can't stop talking about you, and I will make excuses for you, and I will apologize when you're wrong.
Yes.
You know, anything you do to hurt me, I'm sorry.
I'm
It's like, yeah, everything's perfect.
Okay.
But then you tend to move now. This is where 95% of couples actually get stuck in. And this is the power struggle stage. Now, the power struggle stage, because at this point, you actually have like the love hangover. It's suddenly like you wake up one morning and you kind of realize, the little things I was putting off that I recognized about the person now is starting to irritate me. What I once loved about you is now annoying me completely. I'm not understanding why we're even together. I can see all the signs why we're not even similar. We're completely different. And you both are now in a stage where literally you're no longer the we team. You start to shift into you and me. And this stage is where so many couples rotate, because power couple stage works in two ways. You either realize there's too much pain in this relationship, you see everything that's wrong, you've lost not only the sense of connection and communication, but you now suddenly reach a pain of there's pain. And I'm in so much pain in this relationship, so I'll do one of two things. I will either break up with you. And now a lot of people that break up in the initial power struggle stage are people that are very addicted to the love feeling. They are the serial daters. I want to date and feel loved. The minute love and that hormone and, this honeymoon phase seems to die out, it now means the relationship is wrong.
Okay.
It means something changed in us, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave to go look for the next person that this first honeymoon feeling can last with again. And so they're serial daters because they're only looking for that feeling, not understanding the full circle of what goes into a relationship. The second way a lot of people tend to live that relationship in a power struggle, and you can be in that for about 35 to 40 years without realizing that's where the two of you are. It's a loop. You go from angry, confused, sad to slightly elated to, this relationship's not working, to back angry and sad, and you literally live in a loop. And people tend to survive and decide we'll be together, we'll survive this relationship for whatever reasons, culture, family, children, society, whatever. This is us and we're not going to thrive. The possibility of us thriving is not possible. We've understood we're very different. We've understood as a couple, we don't know how to make this work. We are constantly fighting. And if we're not fighting, it's because we've reached a point where we are so resigned to this relationship, because we've gone through stages of stonewalling, trying to communicate in the best way I think is right for me, not the way I think is right for us. And so you move into now a stage of, I am not seen, I am not heard, you do not understand me at all. And so what I'm going to do is I'll leave or I'll survive. And now the best thing about a power struggle stage...
Is something good about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you look at the power struggle stage, a lot of people say, and what I also thought in the beginning when I used to do coaching was, it comes down to the crux of just communication.
Okay.
But we all know how to communicate. We speak English very well, and we've been able to get through the first part of our relationship. So we're able to communicate, but we've lost the understanding that we lost connection somewhere down the line.
Okay.
So somewhere with all the fights that we were having, both of us moved into being resigned, and now it becomes, I will protect a part of me that you are no longer choosing to protect, that I gave you a full responsibility somewhere down the line that you didn't even know about, and you have left me feeling so wounded. And so now we will use communication, not as a tool to solve, but as a complete tool to consistently wound each other, bring out what is wrong. And in this stage, it's when, you call the sink method. Like on a sink, you consistently pile up dirty dishes. You pile up so many dirty dishes that at some point you feel this is too difficult to even wash. Where do I begin? And so that's what you do in the relationship in the power struggle stage.
We're going to take a very short commercial break. We're going to get back onto that. We're talking about the 5 stages. The beautiful honeymoon stage. I wanted to be there in the discussion for a while longer, but just let's get to the next one, power struggle. Please share your stories with us. What stage are you at? She went through all the 5 stages. Now we're breaking them down. 111 444 111. That is our SMS line. Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. We will be right back. Day edition. We're talking about the 5 stages of a relationship. We went through the honeymoon stage. It's beautiful. We just want to be there forever. But then let's not forget there's a blissful stage at the end. So until we get there, please share with us your love stories. What stage do you think you're at? Do you feel like you're stuck at the loop? Yenye iko kwa power struggle stage? 111 that is our SMS line. I'm at a stage, I'm at that stage, finding myself doubting that girl. Is that the power struggle? I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Hi Mikali, looking great this morning, loving the dress. Tell Shazmin she looks great.
Thank you.
My relationship ni tough.
Yes, they all are.
So we'd gotten to the power struggle stage, and if I understand well, you choose you now, and instead of using communication to bring us together, I use communication to hurt you instead of mending what is going on with us.
Exactly. And the essence that people need to recognize in the power struggle stage is, how do you mend? Being in the power struggle stage means I need to be able to understand connection. So one of the most beautiful exercises you can do when you're in this power struggle stage would be, every single morning when you wake up, you could be screaming and fighting for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But to begin being able to feel a connection with each other again, you sort of do eye gazing, which means the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is you gaze into each other's eyes.
Shazmin,
Yes.
we were not talking last night. We were not talking last night, and the first thing in the morning I want to do is look at you deeply into your eyes.
Yes. And I'll tell you why.
Why?
When we start to fight and we start to pile up the sink fights, which means everything you've ever done wrong, everything that's wrong with you, where do we even begin now to start solving it? Every time we have a fight means it's not only we're dealing with this current fight, we're dealing with every single fight, because they never ever seem to get resolved. So we stack one on top of the other. And then we move from the fact that we were fighting about a situation or something that was wrong to now we are fighting about what is just externally and internally completely wrong with you as a person. So you move into this phase where it is so tight that as a couple, unless you understand or you get some help or advice, you don't know how to ever solve it. And so you feel the only way is to break up. Because other couples don't fight this much. Other couples, it's so easy. Other couples don't show you they fight so much. Other couples don't discuss this part of their lives. And so the reason eye gazing is so powerful is because it puts you both back into a state of pure vulnerability. Because when you fight, if you notice, whenever you're fighting with your partner, you are never looking at them unless it's to intimidate them. So when you are fighting and screaming and shouting, you are all over the place. But when you eye gaze, suddenly it becomes, okay, I'm letting you back into my world, which means we both need to be vulnerable in this moment. And slowly, when you start to break the little ice that's been building between the two of you, eye gazing allows you to look back deep into my soul and see a part of me that I don't even know you are seeing. And so in this phase where I tell couples is, you eye gaze, but what you say to your partner, they can feel. So in your mind, you're saying to your partner, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I love you. And they are saying the same thing back, but non-verbally.
Okay.
And you are just looking at each other for 5 minutes. And what that's saying is, I'm allowing you back into my world, and I hope you're allowing me back into yours. And I promise you, it is the most beautiful, intimate thing, because I'm yet to find a couple that has said to me at the end of the week that they experienced a shift within each other that sometimes ego doesn't allow them to discuss during the week until they meet you. To be able to say, I felt soft, I felt something, I felt like they saw me again. Because when you are fighting in the power struggle stage, you move very often from I feel and I connect to I think. And you reach the stages, if you've ever heard, which is suddenly you're late or you don't do something for your partner and it becomes you never ever. You always. And suddenly you're no longer dealing with the fact that, for example, maybe your partner shows up late and it upsets you. You're no longer dealing with that. You move into defend, how I never ever always do that.
Yeah,
I
it's
am
just
now
the
going
one
to,
time.
Right. And what you're doing is you're not addressing the fact that what's going on here. Right now, my partner's feeling I can show up in so many other areas of my life, which I probably would for business, for colleagues in different ways. But when it comes to the most intimate relationship, sometimes it's not that I just take for granted. Sometimes it's that I take for granted and I assume you'll be with me forever and you will tolerate all of me because I gave the most vulnerable bits and parts of me to you. And so I'm hoping that when I slip up a little bit, you're the one person in the world that will give me that break, because the rest of the world won't cut me that slack.
Yeah.
And so, but we move into the phase of me. Like, what do you mean I always? And I will now justify how amazing I am as a partner. And I will push you to feel you are not amazing as a partner. And this is why power struggle. And the essence to be able to get out of the power struggle stage is deep connection, deep communication, and understanding. Okay, take a breather. Why are we fighting right now? What is my partner bringing to me in this fight that seems aggressive and seems like it's making me feel like I need to take 20 steps back and probably run out the door? What is my partner asking me to see that I have possibly neglected to see? And so I tell couples, if you even feel checking in with each other when you're in this stage once a week is the right way to go, it sets you up for failure. Because if you are not checking in with each other, either every morning after eye gazing, which is when you're the most vulnerable, or in the evening before you sleep, no phones, no TV, no series. We gaze into each other's eyes, and either we choose to communicate about the day in the most beautiful way, or we choose to share 5 minutes where I can feel all of you again. The way I used to feel your energy when we were in the honeymoon stage and you never needed to be around me. So I'm now feeling and seeing you. And then after that, I tell couples, now ask each other in a safe place. How could I have made you feel more loved? How could I have connected to you more today?
I hope you guys are writing them down.
Did you feel significant enough? Was there a bit of variety in our day? And the most important, are we growing? Are we still growing in this relationship? Because if you're not growing, you are dying. And so I say the most important thing when you're in the struggle stage is to communicate, and for your partner every single day to know any blip could have happened during the day, but I'm not going to store that in my psyche and build it up because I'm exhausted of fighting right now. So when I get a bit more energy again, I'm going to now bring out the list of a month ago. You started on that Tuesday and you said, and for men, you completely confuse them because they're like, wait a minute, what are we arguing about?
What date was that?
Right.
Why? What happened?
And are you sure? And I don't think so. And now the woman goes into proving absolutely you did that.
Verbatim, this is what you said.
Exactly. It is the stacking of the list. Is my husband laughing? I feel like he's laughing.
Yeah, he is. He is laughing.
And so at this stage, this is why when you communicate with each other every single day and you ask, how did I make you feel loved and connected? And in this stage now, you're vulnerable enough to say, I would have liked if love and connection was done more this way. I would have liked if you made me feel significant more this way. I would have loved if we were growing more in this way. And couples forget communication with connection is the key. Because very often you can communicate, but it goes unheard. Because you are attacking. You are no longer speaking out of love.
Is it the stage that has a lot of work?
This is the stage that either breaks or it makes. You either thrive or you survive.
And that comes immediately after honeymoon.
About 2 years. So, well, for some couples now depends how long that honeymoon period lasted. So the minute you move into power struggle, but you learn how to master the power struggle, you slowly now slip into stability. Which is the third stage, which means we're sort of finding our balance. We're learning how to fight better, because anyone who feels I will ever reach a point in my relationship where I'm not going to argue, we're not going to see opposite sides of something, we might not get into a fight, is wrong. It's how to learn to fight better for the two of you, which means stability is caused, which means when you and I now fight, we learn how to fight healthy. We are now no longer crossing crazy boundaries. I'm not verbally, emotionally attacking, hurting you because I feel so attacked and hurt sometimes. And this is a dynamic with men. Men will go silent because sometimes they're overwhelmed. They don't know, how do I solve this? This problem seems huge.
Yeah.
I'm scared to even come into the problem because I don't know what will I trigger. So I'm going to ride this crest of what seems to be calm. And the woman inside is sort of feeling, he's not addressing the problems. He stopped making an effort. We're not growing. We're not talking. We're not discussing it. I do not feel seen at all in this relationship. And so now he's hoping this tide rides a little longer while he gains the strength. And she's building the tide even higher because she's ready for a comeback. So when you get into the stability stage, you both learn that we're on the same waters. Yeah. When it gets rocky, I understand how you fight. You understand how I fight. When we're both fighting, what is it that we're looking for? Because very often couples forget they have some very, very similar request underlining the deep reason they're fighting. So you might be fighting because you're looking for more attention, to be seen and to be loved.
Yeah.
I might be fighting because I'm feeling you're just not addressing certain issues I've been talking to you about. So we're just not meeting requests. And we'll do it with the fight because when we fight means I'm not vulnerable, means you cannot hurt me, means if this fight doesn't get resolved, I get to walk away, you get to walk away, and we both think we're safe because we build our own cocoon. So now when you build the stability, you learn we are fighting for each other. What is the request that you're saying? If my spouse brings up the fight or feels like they're going to fight, I'm not going to fight back. What can I do in this moment for my spouse? What is it through the fight, through the noise, that I can address immediately to calm them down? Could it be a joke sometimes to deflate the situation? Could it be just walking over, hugging them and kissing them? That would break their state in that moment. Could it be, I hear you. I completely, fully understand what you're saying, and I'm sorry that I've made you feel this way. Now, I've seen the dynamic with a lot of couples feels, if I apologize and I say sorry means I lose, means I was wrong. It doesn't mean you lose or you're wrong. It means I really want my relationship to work and I see exactly where this is going and I want to address how you're feeling. And now stability means we're finding our feet. We feel comfortable in this relationship, means we know how to fight right, means we're not going to consistently spiral because we know how not to stonewall, how not to go into resistance of each other. So stability slowly leads to, I will commit. I feel now we can commit. We're in a stage where we've learned how each other argues, fights. We're in a stage where we've learned when we argue and fight, no one's running out on the other person. Yeah. We will make this work no matter what, because at the end of the day, we say to each other we're on the same team.
Yes.
It's us together always. When there's an argument or a problem or someone comes into this relationship, how do we solve it together? And so you move into commitment now because it says we can conquer the world together. But a lot of people in the honeymoon stage will want to go straight into the commitment stage.
Yeah.
And then you're in commitment now and you've got the mortgage and the baby and the marriage and culture and society, and suddenly you go into power struggle and you don't know how to get out of that. And the only way to get out of that is the increase in divorces. Because dare anyone ever hurt me now in the whole empowerment world?
Yeah.
So when you move into commitment, but you're in a beautiful place in your relationship to understand no matter what the world will throw at us, we do it together. In this stage now, that's where you move into bliss.
After commitment, now we've got into the bliss.
Right. And why is it bliss?
Okay.
Because no longer do I see what's wrong in you. No longer do I want to point out what's wrong in you. Now it's bliss because at some point I can understand, even when things go wrong, I see you for the beautiful human being that you are. I will love you no matter what. We're so committed in this relationship. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to bring you down. In this stage of the relationship, it's unconditional beautifully. Because I tell a lot of couples, you get confused with unconditional, because unconditional for some couples could mean you can treat me the way you want,
Yeah.
because I'll love you no matter. But unconditional beautifully means we both treat each other so well because we both want each other to win. We can go conquer the whole world and come back to a relationship that helps us bounce.
I hope you've gotten the hang of that. The 5 stages of relationship. I know we haven't gone through your questions, which we will after this break. So send them in and let me know what stage you feel you're at in your relationship, in your marriage as well. We figured that you can go all the way to commitment and go back to power struggle. Where are you at? 111 444 111. That is our SMS line. We'll be right back with Shazmin.